just go ahead. Yeah. What's your question?
So as it is
First,
said,
talk about your name and.
yeah, my name is Rushikesh. I'm studying here at IIT Madras, first year master student, and thank you sir for coming here.
It's a pleasure.
It's really the inspiring one to hear your journey and hear your experiences. So as after a talk, I have one question for you. The question is, as you mentioned, and it is also mentioned by many scholars that in a trade-off between climate and development, one has to choose any one of them, or they have to leave any one of them. So can we find a middle way between them? And if it is, what that can be with your experiences, as you have traveled 4,000 kilometers till now, you might have got some idea. So what it should be, and again, what can be the strategies you might think that every young leader should adopt? So that is my question.
Okay, it's an easy question with a very complex and a difficult answer.
Flip the camera.
Okay. Uh, so the problem starts with the definition of development.
Yeah.
The way we've defined development is what creates this problem actually. So, what do you think? I mean, what is the definition of development as per you? What is development?
As you said, sir, there are many aspects. Development, let's say for a village person, it might be different. For a city person, person to person, it varies. It cannot be as humanity is. It is like,
Right.
but still, if you ask me the particular thing, I will say your life the next day should be better in terms of all the aspects, basic necessities of life, or whatever you are aiming at.
Right.
Whether maybe I am aiming at a good job, so let's say next day I am landing at this, so I will consider the next day as a developed day considered compared to current day. And in
Right.
terms of nations also the same thing, that next day they want to do better for their citizens. So that is the
Correct. So, better is again how you define better is next question.
yeah.
Right. But coming to that, you have so many beautiful trees here, right? Do they, there's just a tree standing here. Does it contribute to a developed nation? Does it contribute positively to the economy? Just a tree standing there.
Yes, though it is, but like let's. I will give another example. There is an Amazon forest. They will say just a forest, but it's contributing 33% of the world's oxygen. So
Correct. So that's what you and me think, right?
Yeah.
Does it contribute to the treasury of the government directly? I have a wonderful forest here.
Indirectly,
Does it
yes,
contribute to
directly, no.
yeah, directly? I mean, does it go in the books of the accounts?
No.
Does it in a balance sheet? So if there's a corporate, okay, and they have a beautiful forest around, right? IKEA, for example. Yeah, IKEA is a furniture company. You heard about IKEA?
Yeah.
Right, IKEA, right?
Bombay.
So IKEA has a wonderful forest around. Maybe a few thousand acres of forest around, right? Does it
Only one in
show
India,
it
that's
on the
in
asset side or liability side, or it shows nowhere?
There is one in Bangalore as well.
Is it
That's a tricky question.
right?
Yeah.
That depends. Like, what is development? So in IKEA, it's only when you cut the forest, you chop those trees, make furniture out of it, it contributes to the development of your company. If the forest is standing still, it is not development, unfortunately, right? That means our development is exploiting those resources, making something out of it, whether we need it or not, and whether the person needs or not, sell it, right? And then it contributes to the treasury of the corporate and the government, and then, oh, now we developed. So definition of development is a problem. So if I just see this forest, beautiful wind, it doesn't reflect in my balance sheet as a revenue. It doesn't reflect on the asset side of it, right? So then I need to start cutting trees, making furniture, start selling it. If people don't want also, then you create that market. You tell them, oh, if you don't have this furniture, then you're nobody. So you have to have your identity. This is a chair you have to have. Then they buy. Okay, there's economy, there's consumption. And then, wow, I'm developed. That's a current development model and definition. And that definition itself is the issue. So it's an issue at the fundamental level. So till we shift that paradigm, we're not getting anywhere. This battle between economy and climate always will remain. Right? We had this proper definition of development in the ancient lifestyle. You go to Maharashtra or you go to the villages. I went to Kerala, they respected the forest. So there was always a temple, right? And there's a forest around it. That forest is like God. You can't even walk with your chappals inside it, right? So Devrai, or in Kerala there's some name to it. I'm sure that's true in all the villages. So the forest, you respect it, right? So that's a part of you and your system. You don't touch that part, right? So then, their definition of development was very much aligned with the whole ecosystem, right? But now our definition of development itself is skewed. So the problem is the problem is so compounded and complex that I teach MBA students, I teach them business. For me, when I walk in the class, okay, this is how you increase the ROI of the company. This is how you make profits. This is how you fudge your balance sheet or whatever it is. So there are issues. So the entire content of the education system is aligned with how to harness resources, exploit the resources, sell, make the people consume, how to increase the brand value, how to package it nicely so people get attracted. That's exactly what we all are doing. That's the content of our syllabus now, and it's so deep rooted across the globe. So there are a lot of major changes from the top which are required for this thing to happen.
Yeah, so the crux is, you mean the behavioral change at the start can initiate something in that direction?
That is the only way out. So I need to go back to my old definition of development. Okay, development is the forest standing here is an asset. It's not necessary to cut the forest, make wood, chair and table out of it and sell it for it to be counted as development. Till we acknowledge that fact, we have a problem. Problem continues is the conclusion that I have come to. So the problem is the fundamental definition.
Also they cut it, but at least they protected half of the tree to your backside. Yeah. Because of this building.
Yes. Correct.
Because of this hostel.
Correct. That's right. So of course, this campus becomes a model, because they've decided not to cut the trees. Okay, you can go vertical, but so at least they respect trees here. They respect nature. They don't. The deers, I believe, they roam so freely, fearlessly. So this is beautiful
And
coexistence.
even there are many committees, clubs here.
Correct.
One is sustainability committee we are working with.
Right.
So it's a lot of freedom over here to work with.
But this is just within the 650 acres. The moment you step outside, it changes.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That is the true way.
No, you can't implement this on a larger scale. So if you can scale up this model, then we have a hope. Else, unfortunately, it's a hopeless situation. Yep, that's my point of view.
Yeah.
I've done 1000 kilometer, and I know that traveling by bicycle is really expensive. And when I think about making money and want to travel all over the world via bicycle, I think about passive income.
Yeah.
And so you have worked in real estate. Would you give some tips or guidance or anything related to earning or making passive income?
Now that's something which I can give you all the tips, but I myself can't practice it. So that's something which I'm not really very good at.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, this trip is being funded more from my own savings. Yet, there are some friends who are actually coming out to help me out now. By making some contributions, and this voluntary. I didn't go and ask them, but they've been nice and kind enough.
Okay.
So the trip is going fine, and on the way then you find people to sponsor your stay, sponsor your food, which is a major part of your expense. There are some heavy expenses which come, like I service my cycle, I spent 5,000 rupees, but that was also just subsidized, because I know something that like that would have costed about 8,000 plus anywhere, but he actually gave me so you find such nice people to help you out on the way, and that's how you keep going. Passive income, yes, you invest in real estate and you put your house on rent,
Okay.
then that's your passive income. Or if you're wise with shares. So I have invested in shares, but that's not enough to generate a passive income. I invested in share because I'm an MBA professor. I need to know how the market works so I can talk about it.
Okay.
So it was more of an academic thing than otherwise I don't understand that part, and somehow I don't. It doesn't interest me. Yeah. So like for example, See, save money in the sense, like in my case, I live a very minimalistic life. Okay, so whatever I earn probably is 3 or 4 or 5 times more than what I really need. And I'm not married, no kids, so that part doesn't exist for me.
Okay.
Right. So then I know if I work for 1 year, right, I'll have enough for next at least 2 or 3 years. Right. So that excess is what kind of funds my travel.
Okay.
But and sometimes there is also a little bit of help which comes in. And while traveling, this is a exploration. You're traveling, you're not a tourist, right? So then you are ready to stay wherever, as much as possible for free,
Yes.
or as cheap as possible, right? So you connect with people, you get them to host them, you stay in the temple, you go to Dharamshala, stay and eat for free, right? So you find this kind of places, you make friends with the driver, they'll, you know, but there are certain expenses you can't avoid, right? And that's how you, in fact, my Gujarat in Kutch, my 23 days expense was 5,000 rupees. Right, but yeah, after leaving Gujarat, my expenses started mounting up. Okay, but yeah, I mean it's still within my budget, whatever I had planned. 1,000 rupees a day is what I had planned. But so whatever I saved in Gujarat, if there is an excess, then kind of it offsets. So you just keep it. But this is for me. I will give you some examples. There's a boy in Orissa. He is 26 now. His name is Nandish Ghosh. Yeah, he's got a channel called as Challenge Icon. Much smarter boy. So again, I met him when I was planning this trip. He's come from a very humble farming background, from some remote village in Orissa. He wanted to travel. Uska to itna fancy cycle bhi nahi hai. You know, so he has a single speed cycle which was donated to him when he was in school by the government. He said, I want to see India. One day he just packed up. He couldn't even speak Hindi properly. You know, no money, language issues, just a graduate, right? He picked up his cycle, packed his bag, and he's traveled all the 26 states. So I met him when I was traveling from Mumbai to my house in Lonavala, right? He was he was lying under a tree. I saw him with a cycle. I knew he was a traveler, you know. So I took him home, you know? So we had a good chat. So there are people now. What budgets he will have? What savings will he have? He managed. He traveled for about 2 years. Now recently he went home, you know. Right. So thank you very much for all these wonderful questions. It really sparked a lovely discussion. Right. Thanks.